Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and this weekend I spent some time adding to my XRP bags, and I will be aggressively doing so. This little pullback to 245 or whatever, 245 billion in the total market is to me that's a signal for myself to get more and more and more, and I will continue until things take off, which I firmly believe that they will. I'm going to keep on adding to my XRP. I have a few other, I'll give some disclosure here just so you all know. I own some Bitcoin. I own XRP, of course, my number one holding. I have some Stellar. I've got some Cardano. I've got some Holochain now. I mean, I've kind of changed my portfolio a little bit. And then I think that might be about it as far as what I hold in digital assets. And I believe there are going to be just maybe 10 to 15 that are like the real winners out of all this. I think you'll have other winners, but I think that there's going to be that top, say, 3 to 5 core holdings that are going to just change the world. And that is why I've kind of consolidated into what I'm holding. Okay, I wanted to show you this from CryptoView. At Brando Aguilera sent me this, and this is really good stuff, folks. This guy does not get enough credit. His name is Leonidas, and I don't even know how to say his last name, so I'm not going to try, but I'll spell it for you. You need to follow him in the XRP community. At Leo, HADJILOIZOU. He has the website XRP Arcade. He tweeted this out. Finally done adding videos on the XRP Arcade events page. 193 events added at the day they occurred. 144 of those include the video or audio file of the event. Let me know if I missed any. And he copied me on this to show it. So here you go. This is his events page. You're looking at the events for June 2019. What he's done is he's added in video. So at these events, if there's someone significant, like in this case, David Schwartz spoke at this We Are Developers World Congress. I haven't watched this yet, but I've heard it's really good. But you can click here. He's got a link to the video so that you can watch the video. What a great resource. And it's over here. If you're looking at the page and you come onto his page, it's over here on this right side, events. But he's got so much more on this website. So go give it a visit. It's xrparcade.com. He's put a lot of time in. Okay, now C3 Nick brought something to my attention that I haven't really thought about, but many of you have never seen before because you weren't here with us during the bear market. Back during the bear market, there was a time when Ashton Kutcher went on to the Ellen DeGeneres show, and he there was a big donation. As I recall, it was from Ripple. Ripple was donating a big amount of money. I don't know if it was XRP or I think it was XRP because they made the transfer on the app. But there's an actual video where it shows up on the screen that he's sending XRP to her charity, and it happens right there on the spot. So if you've never seen this, it is great. It is a great one for you to go watch. And he put it out. See, C3 Nick reminded me of something here, and that is that although I've covered a lot of things, I think that it's important that it is important that people go back and look at some of these significant, massive things that have happened with Ripple and XRP over the last year, because even though we were in a bear market, all of the pipes were being laid, the foundations were being laid for what is about to be. And this is just one example of some of the things that were going on where people, even though we were in a bear market, people were looking at it going, what? I mean, they've got Ashton Kutcher out there. And that's what I'll say having to do with this. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's at Ripple's annual conference or if it's Brad Garlinghouse popping up at a meeting in a room full of central bank chair people, or reading a news article that Ripple has just started a pilot with somebody like Bank of America, and I believe DM Logic has said it in a way that it has blown, in a way that kind of sums it up better than anything, and that is, I heard him say one time that he had, under every financial rock that you look under is Ripple or XRP or both. In other words, if you start looking at Bank X, somewhere in their documentation you'll find a mention of Ripple or piloting Ripple or what Ripple's doing. And it's not some, it's like almost every financial company, payment company, bank, central bank, somewhere they know what Ripple is, or Ripple's talking to them, or has met with them, or you name it. I read yesterday, it seems like I read that a Chinese delegation had met with Ripple from their central bank or something like that in the past. Don't quote me on that. I think that's what it was, a Chinese, but that's one of many. I mean, this is like it's insane, all of the financial rocks where you'll find Ripple and XRP. And if you keep seeing it like we've seen it for the last year, after a while you're like, I've seen enough. This is like something massive is about to change in the entire world, and it has to do with Ripple and XRP. Okay, next, this is from XRP Crypto Wolf, one of my favorite Twitter people. He's tweeting out this article about the G20. And he summarized it in with some good things here. G20 finance leaders ask global regulators to consider multilateral response to crypto. G20 finance ministers and central bank governors asked the Financial Stability Board, a global standard-setting organization, to monitor risks around crypto assets. The involved countries look forward to adoption of the Financial Action Task Force's interpretive note and guidance on crypto assets at its FATS plenary this month. The leaders state that they reaffirm their commitment to applying the recently amended FATS standards for crypto. The document states that the finance ministers and central bank governors welcome work concerning crypto carried out by international regulatory bodies like, for example, the International Organization of Securities Commissions and the Financial Stability Board. The joint statement also points out that technological innovations, including those underlying crypto assets, can deliver significant benefits to the financial system and the broader economy. Makes you wonder, folks, why this is like some of the most powerful people in finance in the world at the G20. Why are they talking about crypto? They are talking about crypto. They know. If you don't think these people attending the G20 do not have bags of XRP, you better think again. I can't prove it, but I can tell you this. I'd bet $1,000 on it that at least half of those central bankers own, if not personally, their governments own bags. I would bet it. Any day of the week, I would bet it. And like I said, I can't prove it, but I would bet it. Next, from Peter Pumpkin Eater. Now, this, folks, I don't want you to, don't be distracted by this figure. I'm not showing you this for the $10 million Bitcoin price prediction. That's not why I'm showing you this. I'm showing you this because the video that Peter Pumpkin Eater is telling you to watch, you need to watch. It's a must-watch video. They do. There are several people that are saying Bitcoin will get to $10 million. I think it probably will too. But the reason you need to watch the video is because it is the guy that does it takes 45 minutes and he lays out for you the big picture of how this all happened and what this is all about and how it ties in with the economy and the financial crisis, all the things I've been talking about for a year. This guy lays it out and backs it up with video of smart people that are talking, people besides me telling you the things I've been telling you for the last year. And this guy ties it all together perfectly in a bow. And even though his focus in the video is on Bitcoin, like I said earlier in this video, it's not just going to be Bitcoin. I've always believed that I've always believed from the time that I found Ripple until today, I have always believed that Ripple was a much bigger thing, not just bigger than Bitcoin, which it is. It was a much, much bigger thing than we even realized. And I believe it today more than I've ever believed it. And I'll tell you, when it really, really, really hit me was when that meeting in Switzerland about a few weeks back was going on, and there was a meeting in Switzerland, and you had Brad Garlinghouse sitting at that table, and you had the chairwoman of the IMF sitting in the audience, and the head of the central bank of Russia, and several other people of that caliber. When I saw that, I said to myself, I don't think I've ever been this right in my lifetime as I am right now about Ripple and XRP, because never, and I said it in a video yesterday, never in my life, never, not one time in my life have I ever heard of a company, ever. And my father said the same thing. He's in his 70s now. Never have we ever heard of any company, public or private, in this case private, that hasn't even gone public, that has as many connections and as much capital without having gone public, and as much educated, connected people around it, and people that they're meeting with and they're able to get access to. Never. We've never seen anything like it. Never. And that's 2 lifetimes I'm talking about. And I challenge any of you out there listening, I don't care if you're 80 or 100, you can't name a company like that. You can't, because it doesn't exist. This is a worldwide shift. Something massive is under the ground here. And I don't know, I don't have all the answers, but this is much bigger than we realize. But back to Peter Pumpkin Eater, and let me give him a shout out. At Yes, I'll Have Some. Back to his video. Here's the video. They titled it $10 million Bitcoin Endgame, but don't focus on the 10 million. Yeah, I do believe that over the next, say, 10 years, something like that could happen. But it's not about that. I want you to watch this video. It's a must-see. I want you to watch this video because it really wraps this all together, especially for those of you, and it's good for those of you, a lot of you that are younger, did not really understand the financial crisis and weren't there. Any of you who did live through the dot-com bubble and then the financial crisis and have been around and watched what these governments have done over the course of the last few years, it will all come together for you. And I'll say one other thing that I've said on this channel before. When I was a kid, back when the United States actually had a manufacturing base, my father was in textiles at that time. And I remember that my father would come home from work. This is what all fathers did. They would come home from work, and then they would watch, I believe it was the 6 o'clock news, and they had 3 choices. You could watch Dan Rather. It was CBS, NBC, ABC, and whatever. I think there was one more. But they would watch, it was called the evening news. Back then you didn't have, CNN started it with headline news, which was a 24-hour news channel. And then, of course, as it went down the road, you got Fox and all the other things. But when my father would come home and watch the news, they would the evening news would have a segment where they would talk about Wall Street and the stock market and how it did that day. One thing I remember like it was yesterday, when I compare it to today, back then what would be talked about would be jobs and things like you hear about today, and it would be about manufacturing, and it would be about the economy and things having to do with production and things that were happening. Now, when you watch financial news, there's a much larger focus on what the Federal Reserve's doing and what the central bank's doing. And the reason for that is because these people have taken over the manipulating the financial system. It has become a total joke. It is a total joke. Digital assets are the answer to that joke. And the people that run Wall Street, all of these people know it. They know that this joke is coming to an end. And they know that digital assets are the answer to the joke. Go watch this video. It will put all this together and make it all make sense. It's really presented well. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe and hit the like button, and tell your friends and family to go watch this video too. And before I forget to mention, the video can be found at Token Vision. He's got 4,000 subscribers, and I think he's about to have a lot more. Looks like I have subscribed. Let's see here. Well, no, cancel. No, I am subscribed. Okay, so go watch the video. I've already watched it. Thank you for listening.